Good morning, guys. Today is Tuesday, May 19th, and this is your lesson on author's purpose. So, we're going to introduce a skill. You guys will practice it. You'll reread Jose Born to Dance again, complete the inferencing map on slide 18. You will do the I Excel activity that's listed on slide 19, and then make sure to turn this in. I can explain how authors use reasons and evidence to support points. I can refer to details and examples when drawing inferences about the text. Okay, so author's purpose, it means the reason that the author is actually writing. What are they trying to do? What are they trying to convince you or tell you? So the author might be trying to use their reading to inform you about something, right? So maybe we are reading a story on Memorial Day. You don't know anything about Memorial Day, so that story is going to inform you about Memorial Day. Okay, maybe the author is trying to describe something in their writing. Maybe you need to do a recipe, and they're describing everything you need to make that recipe. Maybe the story is to entertain you, just to make you laugh or cry or, feel a certain way. Or it's possible that the author is using the reading to persuade you to believe something a certain way. But the reasons and evidence an author uses to describe people and events can help you determine the purpose. So, what does that mean? Well, that means that within the story, there's different details and evidence that you start to use to conclude or generalize about what the author wants you to know. Okay, so knowing the purpose, okay, helps you know what to expect from the text. So that means, like, if you start to read, then you're using the information that you're finding in the text, and then you know what to expect. Like, maybe you are reading something and all of a sudden, a character jumps out of nowhere. Like, maybe that helps you to expect that there is a mystery, so other things might happen that might shock you. All right, so we like to refer to author's purpose as easy as pie, right? So PIE, persuade, inform, and entertain. So if the author's trying to persuade you, they want you to do something or try something, all right, or believe something. If they want you to think how they think, right? They want you to have an opinion. And now we did something like that. I showed you evidence and I had to convince you that we should change from a traditional school year to year round. But things that are used to try and persuade are commercials, billboards, advertisements, opinions, reviews, and political ads. So, an author might create a commercial that this is the best toy in the world. They want to persuade you to get your parents to buy you that toy. All right. So the next way that we use author's purpose is to inform. It means that they're trying to teach you about something by using facts. So examples of that would be documentaries, nonfiction stories, history and science. We read news articles, we read recipes, and biographies. Okay. Finally, an author might try to entertain you with what they want you to read. They want to keep your attention. They want to keep you reading those specific types of books. We do this by having you read fiction, fantasy, mystery, comics, jokes, adventures, romances. A lot of you guys, Matthew McCauley likes to read all those I Survived books. That's a mixture of informing but entertaining at the same time, because they're using a mixture of real information mixed with some information that's not real to do a mixture of entertain but inform, right? Some of you, I think Zara, you like those puppy books I have in the back of the room. They're all about different types of puppies and their adventures. So that would be an adventure book. All right, so an author's purpose, we try to persuade. So an example would be, my grandma should win Orange County's best pie contest. Her pie is the best in the world. She makes it from scratch with fresh cherries. Everyone who gets a taste of grandma's cherry pie agrees that there is nothing else on earth like it. She has entered this contest for the past 10 years, but has never yet won. My grandma is most deserving of the award this year, and I know she would be most honored to win. Well, they're trying to persuade you that grandma's pies are the best. You should eat them. You should vote for her. So that's a persuasion for you to like her the best. Information. The first pies made in the 12th century were quite different than the pies we eat today. Those early pies appeared in England and were made mainly of crust with a meat filling. In fact, the pies often contained fowl, and the bird's legs were left intact to hang over the sides of the dish to be used as handles. Blech. Fruit pies are believed to have been created 400 years later in the 16th century. So now I just got information about where pies came from. I'm not so sure I really want to eat a pie ever again after reading this, but it was information about the history of how pies formed. Now we have author's purpose to entertain. So let's see what they tell us about pies to entertain us. So Juliet and Jeff dropped their backpacks by the door. Like always, the twins were ready for a snack after their long day at school. They spotted the last piece of pumpkin pie at the same time. They made a mad dash for it, crashed into each other and the counter. Jeff snatched the glass dish up first, but didn't have a good grasp on it when Juliet made a swipe for it. Splat! Juliet, look what you did, Jeff cried. So now we just were entertained by a story about two siblings who were fighting over a piece of pie, and guess what? Nobody got it because it splat on the floor. So this might be a lesson learned that if there's one piece left, maybe you should share. Now, in third grade, we learned about just pie, but now in fourth grade, we're learning about pied. P-I-E-E-D, pied. So there's two extra reasons that authors write. So explain is another author's purpose. The author gives directions on how to do something, right? So this might be how to bake the pie. We talked about that before with a recipe. A recipe is to inform us, but now we're extending that information to actually explain. So follow these steps to make a truly terrific tasting pie. First, chill the dough for at least an hour. After the dough has been chilled, roll it out flat with a rolling pin. Do not overhandle the dough. Transfer it to your pie dish. Press the dough gently against the dish. Trim the dough so that 1 inch is hanging over the side of the dish. Tuck this rim under itself to create a thick rim. Finally, bake the crust in a heated oven, 425 degrees, for about 10 to 12 minutes. So now they've just explained to us how to have the best pie crust. And now, the newest addition to author's purpose is describe. The author uses descriptive words, often invoking the five senses, and many details to tell about the topic. So we're using things like taste, smell, touch, see to describe things. As soon as I opened the door and stepped into Aunt Mabel's house, the aroma of warm blueberries rushed forward to greet me. I followed the scent into the kitchen where my gaze, so now we have smell and see, my gaze fell upon a blueberry pie with a beautiful, perfectly golden lattice crust. Aunt Mabel proudly handed me a slice of her divine creation. I sunk my teeth, now we have taste, into the flaky crust and warm, soft blueberries. Ah, it was heaven in my mouth. So she used smell, see, and taste, and also touch because Aunt Mabel handed her the slice. All right, so you guys are going to read Jose Born to Dance. It is here. It is available to you to read on your own. Okay. Now, the author's purpose, while you read, usually analyze a text. So the author's purpose explains what the author wants you to learn from Jose's story, What is the author's perspective? What reason and evidence did the author provide to support her perspective? As you read Jose Born to Dance, you thought about the author's reason or purpose for writing. Does she want to entertain us? Does she want to inform us? Does she want to persuade us or to describe? So for clues, focus on the way the author describes the character, the events, and the setting. All right, so here's a hint for you. Readers can often figure out an author's purpose by noticing reasons and evidence the author uses to support the particular points in the text that shows the author's feelings. Authors of biographies, right? And we're reading a biography. That's a book that's written by somebody else, but it's a true story. Often show how their subjects are an inspiration to others. So that inspiration in that biography, what is that author trying to do? Persuade, inform, entertain, explain, or describe. So now you guys are going to complete this assignment. One text detail was pulled already for you. Okay, you need to pick out 2 more text details and then decide what the author's purpose is. Now, is the author's purpose to persuade, inform, explain, entertain, or describe? So one text detail says, Jose saw many different kinds of performances when he was a child in Mexico. Pull out 2 more details and figure out what the author's purpose is. When you're done, please log into IXL first, then come back to the PowerPoint and click the link. You need to work on IXL until you get a SMART score of 100. All right, when you're done, you'll turn in this PowerPoint, and that is your lesson for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Write it on the Teams page, and have a terrific Tuesday.